Hello friends, my name's Emile and welcome to the final episode of my Need for Speed Underground 2 Let's Play. Conveniently, this is episode 50. Now, in the last episode, we basically finished up all of the minor little events we had to do. We had 3 photo shoots and a couple of circuit races to finish off. And in this episode, I believe this is going to be the final episode because we have one singular URL race to do. And that's it. And I'm fairly certain, well, I know what the last race in the game is, but I'm fairly certain it actually goes down on the map as a URL race. So, yeah. I have more than enough suspicion to believe that that's going to be the final event. Now, I don't particularly think this is going to be a very long episode of this Let's Play, to be perfectly honest with you. Just because it's not a particularly long race from what I remember. I think it's 5 laps of one of the airport circuits. So it isn't, you know, particularly mad or anything. So, yeah, don't expect this to be ridiculously long. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, I'm recording this still on the same day as I was recording everything else. It's the 8th of February. However, I haven't recorded anything for a few hours, and it appears my cold has gone away, which is nice. Right, let's cruise ourselves into here. You're going to face off some stiff competition. Okay. So maybe this isn't... I'm not sure. I've never seen that loading screen before. That's interesting. Okay. I swear to God I've never seen that loading screen. Okay, maybe I'm remembering this wrong. Because I'm fairly certain the last race, yeah, it's not an actual, like, proper URL race thing. You race against one opponent. So, I don't know, maybe we have, like, another URL race to go through, and then it's the final race? Maybe, possibly, I'm not too sure. Either way, we will be finishing the game in this episode, that's one thing for certain. I've been saying that from the start, that essentially we'll be finishing this game in episode 50, so yeah, it doesn't matter if this takes another 2 hours. We are finishing the game today, which will be cool, which will be good, because yeah, we can move on to different things. So actually, I just wanted to speak about this Let's Play and so on and so forth. So overall, for those of you who don't know, Underground 2 is one of my favourite Need for Speed games. I do have to admit, probably not my favourite of all of them. I like Most Wanted, and I love all of these games. You know, Underground, Underground 2, Most Wanted, Carbon. I think Carbon, for me, in retrospect, just edges it, just because I really love the story of that game. I cannot get enough of those cutscenes. And the music and the atmosphere and the way the cars drive and the actual car list itself, all is good in Carbon. Next up would probably be Most Wanted. I do really enjoy Most Wanted. It's it's a really good game. That it's got the Carbon way of driving. It's got an interesting plot. Like you don't do like normal races like this, where you do loads of races, then you get invited to a URL, and there's only really one antagonist. There's actually 15 antagonists in Most Wanted, and you've got to basically fight amongst them all in order to win, essentially. You've got to fight off 15 people, and you can get their cars, and they all have their own distinct personalities and different cars and different driving styles and so on and so on. So that's probably my second favourite. These are all very close, by the way. Underground 2 is the Need for Speed game out of all of them, Most Wanted, Carbon, Underground. I personally think that on paper, this is the best of them all. This is the longest of Carbon, Most Wanted, and so on. It has the most event variety. It has the most customization of any of the Need for Speed games, past and present. Yeah, this is just a very good game, and this playthrough, it's definitely been fun. It's reminded me that this game, you know, it's still difficult and it still can annoy, but I still, you know, feel like all of the nostalgia everyone has for these older Need for Speed titles, especially Underground 2. It's honestly just playing this even almost 12 years on. It's still, you know, the nostalgia, it doesn't cloud it. This is a fantastic game. It still is a fantastic game. You could pick this game up today, and bear in mind you can do it, never having played it before, and still think, provided you can see through the graphics and the fact that the car physics are a little wonky, you could still think this is an amazing, amazing game. And I mean, that's sort of the thing, even with all these old Need for Speed titles, say for possibly Underground, there's still games which you can pick up today and go, yeah, that's a good game. That's a really, really good game. And, you know, with some of the games that you have nostalgia for, you don't really think that. Juiced is an example. Juiced is a great game, don't get me wrong, but playing it nowadays, it feels very, very odd. It feels old, it's cliched, and so on and so on. These older Need for Speed games, honestly, are better than the newer Need for Speed games, and that's even when playing them now, today. You know, even, I mean, Underground 1 came out in 2003, I believe, so that game is 12 years old. Even Carbon is almost a decade old now, and they still feel tight as a drum. They really do. They're brilliant, brilliant games, the older Need for Speed games. I do definitely recommend giving them a go. They're just fun. And I mean, that's one of the things missing from racing games nowadays, and it's the reason I like Forza so much, is because, you know, when everyone says, you know, why are they putting a Pontiac Aztek into the game, or why are they putting this into the game and that into the game over, like, the S14 and so on, it's because they're fun. You know, I can laugh at making a Pontiac Aztek go around a track. It's, you know, I can laugh at, like, I don't know, taking a Renault 5 Turbo, putting a silly engine in it, putting a massive body kit on it and going racing, because that's fun. And these games have a similar sort of thing, you know. You can, as you saw in episode 48, you can take a Vauxhall Corsa, put the world's worst body kit on it, gave it silly, silly vinyls, and it's funny. It's just funny. And these games are fun, and that's, you know, I get that people find simulators fun in the sense that they're challenging and so on, but, you know, I get frustrated with the racing simulators. You know, your likes of Dirt Rally. I love Dirt Rally, don't get me wrong, but it's a frustrating game, and it's one that you really have to focus on. And I think for these Need for Speed games, these older Need for Speed games, you don't have to focus on the racing. You know, you can just have fun with it. And yeah, that's why I hold these games in such high regard, and that's why I think, you know, even today, if you'd never played it before, you could pick this game up and go, yeah, it's good. So, yeah, ultimately, this playthrough of Underground 2 hasn't, you know, really clouded my judgment of this game. It's, like I said, it's reminded me of how challenging it was, certainly, although to be fair, we are playing on a harder difficulty. But it's also reminded me of how much fun these older Need for Speed games can be. So, yeah, definitely give them a go. It also confirms to me that, you know, it's not so necessary, you know, graphics aren't the biggest thing in the world. I personally don't think they are, but, you know, games like this do affirm that, you know, graphics aren't the be-all and end-all. Sure, NFS 2015 looks pretty, and as I've said before in the series, I don't want to knock that game because it's still got a bit of life in it. It's still fun. But compared to this, that game is just, it's nothing. And I mean, it has everything that this game doesn't. You know, it has the graphics, the pretty graphics, and, you know, the technology and the actual development cycle as well. But this game still manages to be better. It still manages to be more fun. NFS 2015 to me feels a little bit soulless. This game feels like it's got all the soul in the world in it. You know, you can tell it was made by people who genuinely like to make racing games. It's got some great ideas in it. The open world. This was the first ever open world racing game. It's got some fantastic ideas in it, and it's brilliant. Honestly, it's brilliant. And yeah, as I said, it's just as competent as your modern day racers. It's just as competent as those games. And there's not a lot of games from 2004 that you can really say that about. You know, GTA San Andreas, it's a fantastic game, but it feels aged. This doesn't really feel aged. Right, there's one circuit race down there. Is that the final Right, we're 100% of the way through this area. That's got to be the final circuit race. Surely. I thought it was the final URL race, but no, apparently it's one URL race and then a circuit race, so yeah. But I mean, just look. I'm driving through an open world. This is 2004. You know, it's pretty incredible. And the map isn't small. And that's the crazy thing about it. I think NFS 2015's map might actually be... It's probably a little bit bigger, but not by much. You know, this game's got a pretty... what's the word? It's got a pretty big open world, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's quite crazy, and all of the areas have their own distinct little personalities and different quirks about them. It's incredible. Right, it's actually up there, is it? Okay. Let's just follow the arrow. I haven't used the handbrake once during this Let's Play, and that's because I've only just found out it's on the B button. Right, can we go through? No. Okay, apparently finding this last race is harder than the actual race itself. As of course you'd expect from these old racing games. They do have some interesting bits about them. Ooh, cash over there. Excellent. The only things I can say NFS 2015 does better than this is graphics and, well, cutscenes. I'll make it quick. You put in the bank, we provide the course route. You up for some real racing? Yeah. The only thing about this is the cutscenes, you know, like the live action ones in NFS 2015 are obviously better. And probably the GPS system. Other than that, there's nothing else better in this game. There you go. Here we go. Final race. We've got Celeb, I think that's what his name is, in his Pontiac GTO. I just remember it being like matte black and having no modifications, but apparently it looks very silly. I'm so tempted to just spin him out just to piss him off. Okay, this race might actually be a bit longer than I remember it being. But yeah, anyway, it's been a pleasure to play through this game. It really has. I should probably save this that little spiel till the end of it. Got a pretty cool song to go along with this final race as well. The music, that's another thing I wanted to address. The music in this game. If you haven't listened to the NFS Underground 2 soundtrack, I would recommend it. This might have, well, I think this game has the second best soundtrack of all the Need for Speed games. I think Most Wanted might just pip it just because it's got a bit more of my style of music in it. It's got Disturbed and Bullet for My Valentine and stuff like that in it. But this game, you know, it has some incredible stuff. It has Rise Against, you know, Spider-Bait, Black Betty, that's a cool song. All the songs in this game are actually pretty damn good. I mean, how can I even forget Riders on the Storm, the Snoop Dogg Doors remix, I believe written specifically for this game. It's, you know, that's amazing. And that's another thing I think NFS 2015 failed on for me is the music. The music in that game is just nowhere near as good as the music in this game. Or, hell, even the original Need for Speed Underground had a pretty damn good soundtrack. In fact, just listen to all the the good Need for Speeds, I like to call them. The golden age of Need for Speed. Listen to all the soundtracks from those games, you know, Underground, Underground 2, Most Wanted, and Carbon. They all have fantastic soundtracks. They really do. These games have some of the finest soundtracks ever seen in gaming, really. I mean, I am a stickler for a good soundtrack. That's the reason I love the GTA series. You know, and I think that's part of the reason I might have shunned away from GTA 5 a little bit, is just because I don't feel the radio stations on GTA 5 are as good as they were on GTA 4 or, you know, San Andreas, Vice City. Vice City might have the best soundtrack of any video game ever for me, but yeah, the Need for Speed games are definitely up there. I mean, they have some incredible music in them. And I mean, that's one of the things driving games used to do really well, was soundtracks. They had some amazing soundtracks. I mean, you know, Gran Turismo 4 had a good soundtrack. Gran Turismo 2, at least in the US, and even actually some of the Euro songs were okay as well. You know, they had pretty good soundtracks. But nowadays, it appears gaming's just sort of moved away from that. I mean, did Project Cars even have music? I don't remember. I don't think we've had... Well, Forza Horizon 2 has music in it. It's not particularly good, hence why I drive with the radio station off. I would have to for video making purposes anyway. But I just generally find myself not driving around with the music anyways. To be honest with you, the last good game, last racing game I played with a good soundtrack, like an actual soundtrack, you know, all this orchestral bollocks is okay, I guess. You know, the Forza 6 stuff isn't bad, but it doesn't really impress me. But the, you know, the last game I played, or racing game with a really good soundtrack, was probably Forza Horizon 1. Horizon Pulse on that game was amazing. Just really good chill out music. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to incorporate the magic of Horizon Pulse into Forza Horizon 2. While Horizon Pulse was probably my favourite radio station on that game, it still wasn't brilliant. I mean, it had some good songs on it, The Mother We Share, blah 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 blah. But ultimately, I didn't find it as good as the Horizon Pulse from Forza Horizon 1. I mean, even Bass Arena, right? Bass Arena, I hate, you know, this modern drum and bass house music bollocks. It all sounds the same to me, and I don't like it, you know, dubstep, all the rest of it. But Horizon Bass Arena on, you know, Horizon 2, or Horizon 1, sorry, it was pretty good. I mean, you know, it had its moments, certainly. Yeah, I think that's the last game I actually played with like a really, really good soundtrack racing game wise. Which is a bit... In fact, to be honest with you, I think Forza Horizon... This might be controversial. I think Forza Horizon had a better soundtrack than bloody GTA 5 did, because just something about GTA 5's soundtrack just wasn't for me. I don't think it had enough good memorable songs. It had a bit too many indie stuff. It wasn't particularly for me. So, yeah. I don't know why I'm speaking about soundtracks in an Underground 2 video, but yeah. Anyway, it all relates back. NFS 2015. Musically, I muted it. I've unmuted it now because they've bought some songs across from the older Need for Speed games, and there's one or two songs I don't mind in the new Need for Speed, but it's not for me. It really isn't for me, so... Yeah, I think that's one of the things Need for Speed's missing. Yeah, I mean, you know, I hate to complain about NFS 2015. Again, I enjoyed the game. But when you play a game like Underground 2 or Most Wanted or Carbon, it reminds you, you know, of what Need for Speed used to be and how good it used to be and how much of a missed opportunity NFS 2015 was. That could have been one of the great games of this next generation. You know, as far as knocking Forza and Gran Turismo off their pedestals, you know, every single time a racing game comes out, someone goes, you know, this is going to knock Forza off the top spot and so on and so forth. There's no games, you know, Project Cars and all the rest of it, I don't think they really have the capacity to do it. I don't think Assetto Corsa or Dirt Rally or WRC5 have the capacity to knock Forza off its pedestal, because Forza does what it does better than basically anyone in the industry. It offers great variety, it's open to all types of players, and so on and so on. NFS 2015, if they had got the handling system right, maybe made the story a little longer. Upgrade the car list, had some more customization in it, and overall just made more of an effort with their in-game world. NFS 2015 could have quite easily become one of the better games of the current generation. You know, I really wanted to like NFS 20. I do like NFS 2015, but I really wanted to love it. I wanted it to take me back to when, you know, Underground 2 and Carbon and so on was in their heydays and be just awesome, but it just didn't do it for me. It's such a missed opportunity when you think about it. Hopefully the devs over at Ghost Games really listen to the criticism that they've had about NFS 2015. You know, I hope they don't just, you know, listen to, you know, certain YouTubers who may or may not have had a part in the game and go, you know, oh, this is the closest thing to perfect we have right now, because it's not. It's nowhere near perfect. You know, I hope they listen to the criticism. You know, Fail Race and even myself have leveled it out and just try and improve it, because ultimately, you know, for the next NFS game, NFS 2016, that could be amazing if they take on what we've told them. That game could be incredible. You know, it really could be an absolutely fantastic game. But only time will tell. Of course, we've I think EA is supposed to be having some pseudo E3 at some point, so I don't know, maybe they'll say something about Need for Speed, or I don't know, maybe NFS 2015, because they were on about keeping it like a service or something, so I don't know if NFS 2015 is essentially going to be like Windows 10 and they're just going to say, oh, you know, we're not going to really put any new ones out there, but we're just going to constantly keep updating the old one. Maybe. I don't know. I would kind of like to see that game with some updates in a few years' time and see what it's like. Because I think, you know, with the updates and so on, they're on the right track with NFS 2015. It just needs its handling system sorted out, and ultimately I think it could do with a new city. Ventura Bay isn't particularly interesting in the slightest, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't really like it as a setting. You know, it's got nothing on Bayview or Parliament or Rockport or anything like that. So yeah, ultimately that's NFS 2015. But yeah, seriously, these games are incredible, and it's just, I really wished that NFS 2015 could really learn from its older games, but I don't think it really did. It just tried to capture the spirit, and you can't really capture the spirit if you're missing half the features. Anyways, as I told you, this last race would be easy, because that guy is 15 seconds behind, and I think we're playing on the hardest difficulty. On my original playthrough, I think I beat him by like a minute, so yeah. This isn't a hard race. Anyways, there we go. I am the winner. I've beaten Caleb, whatever his name is, with his Mitsubishi GTO. There we go. There's a cutscene. We can't watch him again because the game's glitched. And yeah. Let it load. Let it load. Congratulations, you've completed the game. You have unlocked all performance and visual upgrades in quick race mode. There are no more events to complete in the world. Return to your garage to re-race any events from your career. So there we go, guys. That is Need for Speed Underground 2 finished. Done. Everything's done in this game. Like she said, there's nothing more for us to do. So let's just have a quick look through. We got 69% of the way through the game. I think it's because I could complete some races on the race menu, but I don't think we're going to. Anyways, let's just have a quick look through what we got. We got the Peugeot 106, of course, the car that started it all. My absolute baby. I wouldn't sell this thing for the world. We've got the 3000 GT, the car which we've been using for the past 20 odd episodes, and it doesn't let me down. Fantastic car. We've got the Golf, of course, from episode 17 to episode 24. It may have some ugly ass wheels on it, but this was an absolute joy to have. We've got the This, let's just forget that this exists. It's just, no. And we've also got the Ford Mustang. Ultimately, we didn't use it too much, but yeah, it's nice to have it, I guess. So yeah, anyways, that is it for this game. I'm just gonna let you sit through the credits, I guess, because I've got really nothing more to say or do. So yeah, thank you all very, very, very much for watching this Let's Play. The support on this one's been pretty good. I know it's been stop and start, but we are finally done with it. And we've got nothing more to do in it. So yeah, seriously, I hope you have enjoyed this Let's Play, because I've enjoyed it very, very much. And yeah, until the next one, farewell.